Grief is the price we pay for love. And resurrection is the gift that love gives back. My dear friends, this Lenten season, we have walked a long and honest road, one shaped by shadows, silence, and sorrow. And we called it Grief and Grace. And now, on Easter, the day when light breaks into darkness and love rises from loss, we speak the truth. Grief is real, and so is resurrection. Grief is something every human heart will know. And grief is not one thing. It is many things. Grief is not a straight road. It's a winding labyrinth. And it is not polite. It barges in, uninvited, unpredictable. It can be loud or quiet, paralyzing or relentless. It comes after death, yes, but it also comes after divorce, betrayal, aging, empty nests, broken dreams, lost futures, estranged relationships, and the deep ache of change. Grief wears countless expressions across the human experience. There is this sharp, searing grief of death that feels like amputation. There is the ambiguous grief of divorce, where what has died cannot be buried, but must be carried. There is the quiet grief of dreams unfulfilled, the solitary grief of miscarriage and abortion, the complicated grief of estrangement, the disenfranchised grief society does not validate or even recognize. As Joan Didion once wisely said, grief turns out to be a place none of us know until we reach it. You don't understand grief until it crashes into you. There is no preparing for it. You just wake up one day in a world that is missing someone or something you thought would always be there. And grief is not linear. Some days you're okay. And some days you are on the kitchen floor again. And as Liz Gilbert, one of my favorite writers, she says, grief is like a tsunami. It does not follow your schedule. It breaks your timeline. It does what it wants. And like love, it demands surrender. Grief demands surrender. And that is the truth. The depth of your sorrow is the measure of your love, your attachment. You don't grieve what you never loved. So, in this way, grief is the proof that love existed. It is the scar left by beauty. You know, there is something sacred about grief, even in its brutality. A grief not witnessed is a grief not addressed, and so we must speak it. And under the gentle and compassionate guidance of Faith and Liza, we grieved. We witnessed each other's grief. Faith and Liza held space for us to grieve, to vent. They gave us a safe space to open up, to be vulnerable, a space where grief was witnessed. pain was shared, and grace was found. They did not try to fix our grief. They honored it with their gentle presence. Nature has gifted us something called evocative memory. Evocative memory, the power to call up vivid and almost sensory memories of those we have lost. How they smelled, how they felt in our arms, the sound of their laughter, the warmth of their embrace, the look in their eyes, their phrases, their quirks, and the way they made tea. And these memories are not mere echoes. They are a new form of proximity. They are the way love persists even when the physical presence is gone. And this is not nostalgia, this is a new form of presence. Love, it turns out, has a long half-life. It does not abandon us. Shakespeare called it an ever-fixed mark that looks on tempests and is never shaken. My friends, that is what our loved ones become inside us. Ever-fixed marks. Not gone, just changed. Not absent, but woven into the fabric of who we are becoming. Psychologists call it continuing bonds. Continuing bonds. Shakespeare called it ever-fixed mark. Poet Emily Dickinson wrote, "Unable are the loved to die, for love is immortality." My friends, our loved ones, though no longer physically present, live on in us. They live in the stories we tell. They live in the lessons they taught, in the love they shared, and they are part of our very essence. And this, my friends, is what Easter tells us. That after the tomb, there is still life. That the story does not end in darkness. And grief is not the opposite of resurrection. Grief is the way to resurrection. We do not leap from Good Friday to Easter Sunday. We must walk through Holy Saturday. The long silence, the waiting, the questions, the confusion, the what nows. And my friends, isn't that where many of us live? In that place between death and rising. In that space where the tomb is sealed and hope feels entombed too. But look again. The Gospels say early in the morning, while it was still dark, Mary Magdalene went to the tomb. Did you hear that? While it was still dark, she went. Grief wakes you up early. Grief walks you towards tombs. But that's also exactly where resurrection surprises you. And my friends, this is the paradox of grief. The tomb we think is final is not. The stone we think is too heavy has already been rolled away. The absence we dread the most is often where God shows up the strongest. As someone once wisely put it, you don't grieve people you did not love. You don't weep for things that did not matter. To grieve is to say This was real. This was sacred. This mattered. That is why to grieve is also strangely to hope. Yes, to grieve is to hope. Because only love can wound us like that. And only love can heal us too. But the healing does not look like forgetting. It looks like transformation. Our loved ones do not come back to us in the same form, but they come back. They come back. As I said, in evocative memories, in their favorite songs, in the scent of their shirt tucked inside our closets, in the shade of their eyes reflected in our children's faces. Easter does not erase grief. Easter redeems it. The risen Jesus still had scars. My friends, let no one rush your grief. Let no one demand your smile. Even Jesus rose after 3 days, not after 3 seconds. And grief is not a dead end. Grief is not a dead-end street. It's a tunnel. And Easter is the light at the other end. As someone said beautifully, how do you survive the tsunami of grief? How do you survive grief? By being willing to experience it without resistance. My friends, let your grief wash over you. Let it shape you. Let it soften you. Because here is what grief teaches best. What matters most is love. Not status. Not speed. Not success. And not certainty. Just love. And the more we love, the more we will grieve. But the more we grieve, the more we are broken open for grace. Liz Gilbert wrote after losing her partner that she said, to grieve is an honor. To grieve is an honor, a privilege, which shows that you loved. It's an honor to be in grief. It's an honor to feel that much, to have loved that much. So, my friends, today on this Easter Sunday, I say to you, you who have wept, you who still wait, you who carry someone's memory in your chest like a burning coal, you who feel lost in your own holy Saturdays, you are closer to resurrection than you think. You are walking with Mary Magdalene towards the tomb, and you will find it empty. But the emptiness is not abandonment. It's an invitation. It's an invitation to new life, new possibilities, new ways of loving, new ways of being present. The tomb is empty, but your heart is not. Yes, the tomb is empty, but your heart is not. Your grief was real, and so is your healing. Your love endures, so does their presence. And this is not the end of the story. Resurrection is real, not just for Jesus, but for us too. Because love does not die. it only changes form. Love does not die, it only changes form. So, my friends, as we wrap up this online retreat, I leave you with one final truth to hold. In the shadow of your grief, in the shadow of your grief, grace grows. And through the cracks of your heart, the light of the resurrection pours in. So, to all who are grieving, whether your loss is fresh or years old, know this: your grief is not a sign of weakness. It is not a sign of weakness, but it is a testament to your capacity to love. And love, as we are reminded today, is stronger than death. Amen. God bless you all. Happy Easter.